online class. I teach communication courses and psychology courses. So this happens a lot. And I want to just make sure that students are aware of how to respond when this occurs. So let's say, for example, your instructor asks you to resubmit something. If that is the case, then number one, you need to be paying attention to the feedback of your instructor. They will let you know in the feedback that you need to resubmit something. They will either leave you a voice note, a video note, or a written note letting you know that you need to resubmit something. Okay. So, because of the recent issues with Canvas, which is most of the LMSs that I work with, I do also work with Brightspace. I've worked with Blackboard before. Sometimes there's a lot of misinformation that comes from those LMSs in terms of notifications, particularly if the instructor has already graded something. The likelihood of them getting a notification is very slim. So it is your responsibility to email your instructor and let them know that you have resubmitted something and where to find it. Try your best to resubmit it in the right area so that the instructor doesn't have to hunt for them. Also, try your best not to put it in the comments unless the instructor tells you to do that. In Canvas and in some Brightspace instances, the instructor can give you an individual due date so that you can submit that individually and it doesn't impact anyone else in the class. That's not always the case for every single LMS. Brightspace, there's instances where the instructor cannot make any changes individually. It's all globally. So it's one due date for every person in the class. So the likelihood of making any changes will probably happen at the end of the term. However, if you are in Canvas, your instructor has the availability to make an individual due date specifically for you. So if you need that, ask the instructor for an individual due date. Since I split my course in half and the first half is done halfway through, it locks everything. So you can't get access to it. However, if I'm working with you and I've asked you to resubmit that assignment, I'm going to open it up specifically for you so that you can submit that assignment. When that happens, it is your responsibility as the student to then reach out to the instructor and let them know that it's there, just in case the instructor does not get the notification, because that does not always happen. Okay. So you want to make sure, specifically if they're graded already, the likelihood of them getting another notification is very low. So you want to make sure that you get it as soon as possible. You submit it as soon as possible, and you send the email as soon as possible to the instructor. And if they don't respond, follow up. It's okay. The instructor may have many classes, many students, things happening all at the same time, but you definitely want to follow up. Do not wait a month. Do not wait 2 months. Do not wait 3 weeks. Do not wait 2 weeks. If you submitted something, let the instructor know immediately. Okay. And just saying, if they don't respond, just say first following up, second follow up, third follow up, whatever. So you have documentation that you've let that instructor know. But if you send an email, that's their way of knowing that something is happening. I know for me specifically, I use those emails to see, okay, I need to handle this, and I flag them and I address all those things based on the flag. Okay. So it's up to you to make sure that that happens. Remember, this is your education. You need to take control. You need to take control of the narrative of what's happening. Don't rely solely on the instructor to do that for you. You need to do that as a student. You need to make sure that you are addressing, especially if it's a zero, especially if you're getting closer to the term. You want to take care of that as soon as possible. You don't want it to get to the next module or the next phase of the course. This is why I split my course in half. So if you need to turn something in late, I give you that opportunity where you can turn it in late and there's no issues or concerns. But when you do turn it in late, you still need to let me know. Okay. So, and that's just my rule. that I would like to do that. But as a practice, as a student, an online student, you need to do the same thing. You want to make sure that you let your instructor know this is just good practice anyway. Whenever you do something late or have to resubmit something, this is a professional courtesy that you can start practicing in your online class, but then you also want to use it in your professional career as well. Okay, so thank you so much for listening in to this podcast episode. We're talking about the best ways to be a great online student. And I'm so excited that we are having this conversation. I hope this helps you moving forward. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know. Just know that you are seen, you are safe, and you're secure. Enjoy your day. Bye.